Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, it's the brother Kadash. Just leaving the gym. Wanted to get into a quick lesson. Was thinking about the times that we're in, just keeping your eye on things, being a watchman and everything you've been seeing that's been happening, but sometimes depending on what you're doing in life, you won't see certain things, right? So like my profession is in business, but I done been in all different types of businesses. I done been in the markets, I done been in the car industry, I've been in trucking, you know what I mean? I even worked retail stores before, and what I'm seeing, these industries are breaking down. Like for example, I was in trucking not too long ago, right? And we were getting loads at a certain price and gas was at a certain price. That's pretty much going to make or break a trucker, right? Then when you start seeing these loads and the rates of the loads being cut by half, going down 50%, you see what I'm saying? That's because of the economy, right? And then same thing with the stock markets and stuff. You see stocks starting to drop, right? So it kind of pushed me to the conclusion of, we're just that much closer to the end. We're just that much closer to the end where everything's breaking down. But we were expecting things to you just wake up tomorrow and all hell breaking loose. But that's not how it is. It's like what it's seeming like it is it's a very slow cooking, because you got to remember our time is not the Lord's time. 1,000 days to us is one day to the Lord. It talks about that in 2 Peter, right? So it's a slow cooking where things are just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But what was alarming to me is that the people don't care or care to even understand, so we the watchmen and we watching out for their souls and we trying to warn them, but the people ain't hearing it. This is just like during the time of Noah and the flood. The people is not taking heed. This is why we always say that it's going to be a remnant, that's going to be brought out to that wilderness, that's going to be saved. Majority of the people going to perish because they don't want to take heed. But it's so hard to take heed at the same time, and that's the test that we're going through. It's coming in this truth, and putting up a good fight all the way to the end, finishing our course. You see what I'm saying? Enduring to the end, like it says in Matthew 25. So that's the toughest part. It's enduring through the end to the truth. Sometimes we put extra stuff on us that's not in the Bible. You know what I mean? But we gonna see when the Lord come back, he gonna straighten everything out. So this is a 2nd Esdras chapter 9 in the Apocrypha. Verse 1, he said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. So not only are we out there street teaching and teaching the hopefully elect and the sheep and trying to bring them in the fold, we also got other tasks in this truth, right? Measuring the time is one, right? Prophesying is another one, and keeping the faith, right? It says, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So it's seeming like the Lord is visiting this place, with this hurricane being one of the worst in a very long time. I think they said it was supposed to be a category 5, but parts down there had already got destroyed. A hurricane like that could do major damage to the grid. And then with World War III still going on, I mean, it's basically already started, but it ain't got to the climax yet. So we hear about that every other day. There's a new strike, you know what I mean? And then there's been attacks on America too, but what they're doing now is they got cyber war going on. They're doing stuff in a sneaky way so they don't have what they call it, destabilization. They don't want to destabilize the country. Destabilization is when everybody just bug the fuck out. Like, what I mean? Nobody going to work no more. Ain't nothing stable. Ain't no society no more. You know what I mean? But it's going to get to that. I wouldn't be surprised if another hurricane come, another one come. Because this is the time for it and it's early. So I wouldn't be surprised if some more end up coming or something worse. But we know worse things are to come. You got the elections coming up. Which I don't really get into it too much because I really don't care who get in office. You know what I mean? I just don't care. because prophecy gonna be fulfilled no matter what. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't really got nothing to do with me. You see what I'm saying? But you could watch out for it. You know what I mean? It really it's just a face guy. You see what I'm saying? The people behind the scenes, they still running stuff behind the scenes. That's who you need to be watching out for, you know? But, you know, I was just seeing those things, and it was just... And then I had another eye-opener, you know, because I went down to see a camp, which was Watchmen for Israel in St. Louis. So I went down to see the brothers, and the brotherhood was just... Man, when you ain't had nothing, you know, I was watching another camp and seeing they brotherhood compared to Watchmen for Israel, it's like a whole different level. You know what I mean? Like the brotherhood is on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. You see what I'm saying? So, but when I was out there, you know, just seeing how our people still is, and I was just thinking, I'm like, man, I've been in the truth 7 years, and this brothers has been in the truth 14 years. This brothers has been in the truth 21 years, 28 years. And I'm like, man, all that work they've been doing, all the work that we all been doing as a body teaching, and our people still, and you still see our people out there lost, man. And it's like, damn. And then I realized this is really only for the elect. You know, our job, we gonna teach to the masses because we don't know who the elect is, but this is really whoever the Lord wants, man. And the Lord ain't taking out majority of our people. 99% of our people ain't finna get saved, man. It's not gonna be 90% of the Israelites got saved out of America. That's not how it's gonna be, man. You know, and it's serious, and it showed me how off guard people gonna be, how people not gonna see it coming, man. They not gonna see it coming. You know, so I just pray the Lord watch over us and the rest of the brothers that's in this walk, no matter what camp or where they come from. You know, if they in this walk and they believe, and especially like if they believe on that name, then everything else, wherever else they going off at, the Lord gonna correct them. It's not for me to I could rebuke them, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if they don't follow that, they don't listen, then it's not for me. See, me, I don't even get in my feelings. When I got into the truth, I was really in it so deep that things was getting me in my feelings. Now I really don't even get in my feelings. They got what's that pastor named Jesse? Damn, I forgot his last name. Jesse something. You know what I mean? When I got in the truth, I see his videos. Boy, he used to get me so heated, man. Vocab Malone used to get me so heated with some of the things he was saying. But now that I'm matured in the truth, you know what I mean? I'll just be looking at him like, man, look, they just doing what the Lord want them to do. You know what I mean? They ain't doing nothing but making YouTube videos. Same thing with brothers that be in the truth, that make a video on you talking shit. I used to be ready, you know, that put me in the lab. I was like Kendrick Lamar. I was going into the lab. I was going into the booth. I got 4 or 5 videos ready for you. I'm finna hit back. But now I'm like, you know, I see that. I be like, man, they just making a video. That's it. It's just a video. They ain't doing nothing. They just making a video talking. You see what I'm saying? So what are you really getting your feelings about? You see what I'm saying? So that's when I had to mature in the truth, you know what I mean? Really just understanding prophecy and what's more important. A guy making a YouTube video on you, is that important? No, it's not important. You can let it get in your feelings. Some of these guys, people you ain't never met face to face. Or a guy that you have met face to face and he ain't say none of that what he was saying on the video face to face to you. So it's like at that point, it's like, come on, bro. You see what I'm saying? Well, you gotta have real faith for the Lord. You see what I'm saying? When you got real faith with the Lord, all that other stuff, whatever man is talking about, that shit ain't gonna bother you. You see what I'm saying? Because every man gotta work out his own salvation, true or false. I gotta work out my own salvation. No matter how much you like me or how much I like you, I still gotta work out my own salvation the same way that you do. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep going though. But it says, verse 3, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, which it speaks about this in Matthew 24, it says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even before the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning, and the end is manifest. So that's what I'm saying. That's the conclusion that I'm getting to, is that the end is manifesting itself. You know what I mean? Like working a 9 to 5, that shit's over with. It's a whole different world. You gotta be on some type of social media. You gotta be digitally making an income just to survive these days. And it's only getting worse and worse and worse, man. the one percenters or the billionaire, they just getting richer and richer, and guess what? The poor people just getting poorer and more poor, more and more poor. You can't. Crime is over with. Crime is dumb. That shit's done. They could track your car from the cameras that's on the street. They could put in, if you got let's say you got Chevy Malibu, they could put in Chevy Malibu, and they could track all the Chevy Malibus that's been spotted by the cameras that's on the stoplights around, and they could just track where you went or where you at. That crime, that shit over with, man. You know what I mean? So now that they crunching down and gaining even more and more control, it's like we really going back into slavery, man. But our people can't even see it just because they free to go to the club or free to go shopping. Right? Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So these are the signs, man. Everyone that should be saved and should be able to escape by his works and by his faith, whereby ye have believed. See, and this is what we tell these wacky tacky Christians. You see what I'm saying? We tell them, like, man, look, it's not just, you can't just have faith. Because you got to prove your faith with your works, man. Like, a person can't just say they love you. They got to prove they love you with their works. Don't just sit up here and tell me you love me all day if you ain't showing me love with your works, man. You know, that's what they do, the Muslims. That's what they do in Islam. You see what I'm saying? The Muslims will come, they'll go to old block, they'll get to trying to convert brothers to Islam. And they just tell you they love you. They'll talk to you, break down the Quran to you. They'll sit there and talk to you, call you a brother. They'll give you a hug. But are they going to share resources with you, though? Or are they going to share their resources? They own the chicken shacks, they own the car lots, they own the convenience stores in the hood. Are they going to hire you? Are they going to put money in your pocket? Are they going to show you how to make money? I went to one that was in the mall. He had a jewelry store in the mall, and I went to him because I wanted to open up a jewelry store. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, let me open up a jewelry store. I had already did my research on where you get it from. It's like a place up in Chicago. You can order jewelry, and then you can have them spec it out the way you want to. You pay them, and you know, you buy at wholesale prices, and you come back and you sell at retail prices. That's how everything works, right? So I'm like, asking them just to get some knowledge. Like, man, where you buy your jewelry at to sell it? He laughed and he didn't really want to give me the keys. He didn't want to give me the answers. You see what I'm saying? I had to try to pry it out of him. Like, okay, he like, yeah, no, that's for us dealers to get on there. You can't go on there and buy. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to buy for myself and undercut you. I'm trying to become a dealer. He didn't want to give me the knowledge. Oh, but if it's about that book, they'll put that book in your face and try to convert you. But when they resources and they knowledge, they ain't gonna get that to you because they know. Yeah, they still in competition with you because they know you are different people to them. You see what I'm saying? So back to the point, like, yeah, you have faith, but you gotta have works. And yeah, you can have works, but you gotta have faith too. You can't be out on the highways and byways, you know what I mean, holding a sign talking about you putting in works, but you don't really believe. You just doing this just in case. You gotta have faith. See, I've been in this 7 years. Like, you go to my channel, this ain't nothing to brag on. But then they say about works, right? And by faith, right? So they gotta count. You know, haters will say, well, it don't count. I got 1,300 videos on my shit, on my page. I got 1,300, probably going on 1,400 videos that I put up. Guess what? That's putting in work. Videos, putting in work. We been on the highways and byways. Yeah, I'm not gonna go down like that whole thing, but you know, it say show you was going to escape by your works, by your faith, because it talks about this in Matthew chapter 6, where it says it's like a spiritual bank. You know, you just stacking up into that spiritual bank. So when all hell break loose, you can withdraw from that spiritual bank, and that goes into Psalms 91, where the Lord could be there to save you, to help you. 10,000 should fall, 5,000, whatever should fall by your side, but it should not come nigh thee. The angel should be there because you stacking up in that spiritual bank right now. You see what I'm saying? Verse 8, shall be preserved from the sad perish, and shall see my salvation in my land and with my borders, and I've sanctified them for me from the beginning. So the Lord already chose, it's going to be what it is. Right. The Lord already chose who he want. We just got to play out the part because we don't know. You see what I'm saying? This is Luke chapter 12. Let me go just verse 54. verse 53 actually, the father should be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. The Lord's going to cause that to happen. Why? Because you might have faith, but your son might not. The mother may have faith, but the daughter may not. Verse 54, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out the west, right, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower. And so it is. So they seen a hurricane coming, people trying to stay. Understand it? You playing with your life, right? Now watch this. It says, and when ye see the soft wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Yeah, why even of yourself judge ye not what is right? When thou goest with thy adversary to the mixtrate, as thou art in the way, give diligence that thou mayest be delivered from him, lest he held thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and the officer cast thee into a prison. I tell thee, thou shalt not depart thence till thou hast paid the very last mite. Man, and look, guess what? In another sense, we trying to stay until we paid our very last mite, our very last work, our very last faith, until the Lord say your time is up, you saved. Ain't no, well, I'm stopping. You see what I'm saying? No, we in this until the very last mite, the very last work we could do, the very last show of faith that we could do for the Lord, man. All the way until the light gets beamed on you and you get beamed up into the sky to be with the Lord. I think he talks about that in 1 Thessalonians, either chapter 5 or chapter 4, right? All the way to the end. So you got to discern the times, man. You always got to be prepared. You always, it don't mean that you got to be freaking out, bugged out. You got to be in a tent somewhere in the forest right now. You know, you still carry on your everyday life, but in the back of your mind, you always like, I'm ready to give up all this shit right now. You know, with that, salvation to the elect, shalom.